Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is enjoying their day, depending on where you're watching in the world, whether it's the morning, evening, or afternoon. I hope this content finds you blessed. Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button on this video so other people can hear it. Um, for those who are new to Rebuilding Community Trust, this channel is talking about social issues in the African American community or otherwise, and I hope the previous videos are helping you. For those who's been tuning in, please continue to share and subscribe to the channel. Please share this with someone else. And hopefully this channel and this video today will inspire and encourage others. So this video that I'm doing today is a response to the previous video I did 8 months ago. Life got in the way, so of course, it might have took this long to respond and put something together. But to me, this is a highly anticipated video. Video was talking about child support, dealing with children, dealing with the court system, and I had asked a whole bunch of questions to men. I only had one response. Thank you for that person who did respond, leave me their feedback. And for me, to be honest, this video is going to be a little bit therapeutic for me, because while during the 8-month period of court, I've dealt with a lot of different changes and scenarios in court, and I had something to say about it. This video is a disclaimer. It's not going to be what you want to hear. It's going to be my truth. And to say my truth because, again, I know men, and this is for the men, of course. Women can tune in if you like, but this is for the men. And I know everyone's experience is different. I know that people have different feedback, different experiences with the child support system. And, of course, for me, I have my own version. So I'm going to walk through the questions, again, that I've asked. And I'm just going to kind of talk through and share certain things. Please, again, take it for a grain of salt. Take it for whatever you want to take it. This is my experience again, and I hope that this can create a forum or create some type of a platform, more so for people to share, but also to just vent and talk about these things. So, got notes written down, but I want to just really talk freely. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. My experience with fatherhood and the court system, the norms, and just really want to talk about, be candid, open, and honest in regard to relationships, mistakes, and the consequences. First question that I did ask is, how's the relationship with your child or children? Is it good, bad, or indifferent? So that's the very first question I've asked, and for me, currently, right now, it's complicated because one of my children is older. She's almost 21, turned 20, and our relationship is hit or miss. It'd be spats and periods of where I don't talk as much to her. This particular child, I've spent a lot of time trying my best to be there for her. Come visit, did a lot of visiting, just trying to be a part of her life, and it's just it's hit and miss. I know people's going to say, and this is something I want to say too, I know a lot of people have questions, and if you do, ask them. But people say, well, why you try harder? Because that's the first thing, this cultural society, I'm gonna get into it more. You didn't try hard enough. You tried calling your child. You tried doing this. You tried doing that. And I can't speak for other men and their situations, but I can speak for myself. And I know for me, I have spent times, I have called, I have texted, I have tried to visit. I can tell you stories where I've spent a lot of money outside the child support system, but just going in and trying to be available, flying, driving multiple hours to come see it. So I've done this, and I'm not saying this for any rewards or any pats on the back. I'm just sharing because a lot of people will judge and say, "Oh, you didn't try hard enough," and if you're a real man and this and that, you would do more. So again, I'm gonna get into that. But relationship with her is just it's complicated, and I always keep my door open for the future. And I'm gonna, like I said, as the questions go along and as I answer, I'm going to have different things come out, feelings and emotions about it. But for that particular question, the relationship is complicated. For my other children, for the other 3 children I have, I do make an attempt to call once a week and speak with my others. I have 3 other girls, and of course, they're half of the talk, and I try to share things with them and speak with them. So I think that's pretty good. I think we're okay. So I talk with them, and I try to encourage them and listen to their day and listen to school and how things, help them with homework, try to do things. And again, I'm in the military, so I'm not in that same location. So for me to talk and try to do things over the phone or FaceTime, that's kind of what I'm doing. So I usually try to keep that once a week, twice a week, if more, just depending on what I got going on and schedules and things I'm working on. But I try to keep a good relationship with them. So that's pretty, I think we're okay with that. And my youngest child, with my current wife now, she's 8 months, so I'm here with her every day. So that's obviously a good dynamic because I'm here present and I'm physically engaging. But for that relationship, again, for the question, for me, is the relationships, and it's a span of just growth, and it's always harder to build a relationship when you're away, when you're not physically present in the home. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So that's my question for question number 1. It's an important question I ask because sometimes relationships can fluctuate. You may be on good terms in one part of the life or one part of that season, and then the next part of the season you're not. It just depends on how much you're engaged and how much you can try to be a part of their lives. Question number 2. Does the mother make it difficult due to the relationship not working out, custody, child support, visitation? So for me, for my oldest child, mother did make it difficult. Younger years, like I said, my daughter's in her 20s, so a lot of times it was court system, going to court, mediation, and I didn't like that supervision or that supervised visitation. Well, basically, I had to go to the mother's house and sit with my daughter, and she was younger, and I went along with it at that time because I was young, and I just wanted to be present, try to be present as much as I can. And then it graduated to, at some point, I joined the military and I come to get her, and it was steps. And I never understood that because with supervised visitation, I feel like I'm pretty much treated as a criminal. I feel like if I had a child and I'm being 100 and I'm paying child support in regards to saying that I acknowledge I'm a dad and I'm going to be there, I shouldn't have to have supervised visitation. Then I had issues with that, but nevertheless, the mother, on top of that, the mother had made it difficult at the very beginning. Things changed. It went from a season to where I joined the service. I went overseas, and it was a 3-year period that I didn't talk. I didn't call. I didn't check in. I was paying child support, of course, but it was so much drama. The mother made it difficult at first. And as time went on, I tried to, again, come in to see her and come in to visit and trying to, be there for the important events and be there as much as I could. But I think out of the majority of the time, I think she might have came to me once. I might have been maybe once or twice that I've taken her away from where she was living. And out of 20 years, it's maybe been a couple of times I've done it. But that's important because we understand the mother. She 9 times out of 10, the custodial parent. She's the one that has the kids, and I think this is the case for a lot of men. And in that case, sometimes the courts can side, in which I'll get into the court system in a little bit. For my other kids, it's not so much an issue for me to see them or build a relationship with them. Far as child support, custody, that's standard. So for my other girls, the three girls I have for my ex-wife, the court system was very the process And in my case, I had to, child support, I feel like was too much. I went in to try to get that, or amended, see if I can get it brought down. I'm not gonna really go into specific because I don't want to go into bashing mode, but just say that the judge sided with her. And I had a lawyer, I had paperwork prepared, I had all my documents, and because she would say that I wasn't paying a certain way according to the divorce decree, I had paperwork proving that I made the payments, had bank statements, I've had legal advice, I had all types of stuff. And I had presented all the evidence that I needed to present to the judge. And the judge did not verbally said that I did not look at your paperwork. I did not review your evidence, your documentation. The lawyer that I had, she didn't do a very good job either. And she allowed this situation to go. So fortunately, the judge ruled in the favor of the mother. And for child support purposes, I have to continue to pay what I'm paying and pay arrearage amounts for stuff that I paid. Can't appeal it because I have to pay the arrearage and start paying it because the mother said that she didn't get the payments, which she did get the payments. So I didn't basically get no fighting chance. And not only did I didn't get what I asked for, but the mother ended up getting everything and more. And on some other stuff that's going on right now, that that's still in some court proceedings are still in work, where I have to now come up with even more money, and she has access to other things. So when that's for the 3 girls, but the other child, the oldest, it was just a set deal, child support, and this amount that I was paid, and I paid that all the way up till she was 18. Paid it all, any arrearage, I paid all that stuff up. And I feel like the biggest thing for me when it comes to this situation for my oldest daughter, I feel like I did all the stuff I could do. Child support was paid, everything was caught up, had medical, had all the stuff, right? But I feel like I didn't get a fair shot into building my relationship. And that leads to why I feel, and some people say, well, you could have done, and again, you could have done this, you could have done that. I've done these things. I've made the attempts. But when you're with a custodial parent and they have the influence, 9 times out of 10 that child's going to go towards that influence. So a lot of things were done incorrectly. A lot of things were said that wasn't true. And it led to where the relationship is at today. Did I make my mistakes? Of course. And when I say mistakes, it's things as far as like, when she came to visit, she shouldn't have been around certain people. Influences. It's just a lot of miscommunication. So that led to the destructive relationship aspect that it is. Custody and child support, and visitation. Again, with a second group, not so much issues with visitation. I can go see her if I have to, but being in the military, things a little bit, you have to work through certain things. I just say all in all, I know men deal with this. Men deal with issues of visitation, where I have a friend that's in a situation to where he has made his attempt to fly to see his son. And when he came to visit, he made contact with the mother. Things were set in place. When he arrived to his location to pick up his son to spend time with him, he flew, paid money, all that stuff. The mother said, you know what, you're not seeing your son for whatever reason. She didn't come through as it was court ordered. That's another thing I want to say. A woman is quick to point out the court with a violation of a court order or some type of decree. But when a woman violates a court order, 9 times out of 10, and it's not saying every case, a man would have to really make a fuss or really raise, bring that up to the court and say, hey, she didn't follow through with this particular thing. He didn't get a chance to see his son, even though he flew, he made contact with the mother. Things were set up for a certain day. When he arrived, there was no positive reinforcement of him getting his son, and his situation, he had to go back to court and let them know. So it's a mess. But visitation, depending on what type of situation it is, it can be followed through or not followed through. Child support, depending on income, depending on how much you make, depending on whatever the case may be, circumstances are hard circumstances. Child support is always going to remain. And of course, custody. If you don't, unless and this is my personal belief, unless the mother is unfit to be a parent, nine times out of 10, she's gonna have custody. She's gonna have custody of the kids because it's just the way society has it in America. The way American society is set up, the court system is designed. Family court is designed to always give the mother what she asks for. I think when it comes to the part that really upset me, and it took me a while, this is why it took so long for me to come out with this video, because I need to work through, and I'm still in some sense working through certain things, but I really feel that this family court, this American family court structure needs to be reformed. It needs to be redesigned, because a lot of times you can be a man that's paying his child support. You can be a man that's doing what he's supposed to do for his kids. Even before you put on child support, if you're providing, you have proof. You have all the stuff laid out for the child. You went and bought diapers, or you went and bought stuff, or contributed to the child's needs. Family court doesn't count that. They don't count what the man does outside of the court. And also, I believe too, when you on child support, I don't believe they give all of that money to the mother. They keep some of the funds for themselves. So as I was doing some research, 1975, this program started. One of the president, he started, I'm not going to pull up the history. If you know, you can go Google it and research it. But in 1975, this organizational structure was made into the government. And I guess this president had an issue with his dad. His dad wasn't there for him. So he got in power, and he fought and created this system. So now all men are held accountable because if their dad decided to step out and lead a mother to be a single mother, which it happens. I'm not disagreeing that it doesn't happen. I'm not disagreeing that there are men that leave if they're dating or married or whatever, they leave their children to the mother and they just disappear. But I think too, now that this whole thing, the system doesn't differentiate between who does do what they're supposed to do and who doesn't. I think for my situation, it was pointless for me to go to court and even have a lawyer to represent me, because at the end of the day, the lawyer didn't do her job and the judge didn't even care to review the documents. It's just literally the judge took the situation, didn't consider anything, and put me in the same group, basically saying that I didn't do anything. So everything that I've done prior to, or everything that I've done, was null and void. The only difference into my situation is that I didn't do it a certain way. The decree said one thing, I did it another way. And the reason I did it that way, and as I was trying to explain, was that if I did it the way that I was supposed to do it, one, the employer that I had wouldn't take but only so much out, and two, it would be a detriment to my living. So that none of that was considered, and therefore she said, nope, you didn't pay anything, nothing you did mattered, start from scratch. And I think that's an issue of why child support is so hated, why child support is despised, why men avoid paying it and don't care about the consequences, whether it's suspension of license, jail time, or taxes, or whatever, because it's not done properly and fairly. Okay? And then when you're on a system and you have to deal with caseworkers and you have to deal with people that work for these programs, they're not available. They don't seem to want to help you. They are limited. And it's a lot of confusion and a lot of issues when communicating to one party to the next. There's no communication with the court system. There's no communication with the child support enforcement agency. And there's no communication with the custodial or non-custodial parents. It's a big mess. And it's a lot of headache and heartache to fix these issues, because none of the system is designed to help. It needs to be reformed. If you're listening, and as a man, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but this system needs to be reformed. And somebody needs to sit down, open up them old 1960, 1970, 1980 rules, and go through each one and reform it. To have a system in place to know the difference between someone who isn't paying, who deliberately says, I'm not helping with the child, versus someone who does. Someone who has proof, someone who's taken the time and made sure that they took care of their documents, and those things need to be considered. You can't go in the courtroom and say nothing you did matters. Child support does the same thing. Would they send you a letter to mail that says everything you do outside of the system is considered a gift? So it was situations when I first started this process where I had to fight with them just to say, hey, I didn't get this notice in time, or hey, this is the situation, and can I get my credit? And they said, no, it's a gift. Everything's a gift, which is I'm just going to keep it 100. It's stupid. It's stupid because if I have proof that I made payments, why are you considered a gift? Because it's not documented by you. I have proof. It's right there. Show you on my bank statement or show you on the receipt that this was paid, but you consider it a gift. This goes back again why this system needs to be reformed. This system is completely broken. It's ineffective, and it really doesn't do anything. All it does is just sets people back 10 to 15 years, 20 years, because y'all, as a system, as a government, cannot take time to sit down and look at and say, this man made his payments. We're going to credit those payments to that and show those payments. If I have proof, why can't it be credited as credit? If I come in the courtroom and say I don't have nothing and I have no proof, then that's one story. But if I have proof and I'm showing you and I'm taking the time to show you the proof, and I had attorneys and other people looking at this stuff and they saying, yep, checking the block, here you go. Why do I get to court? And the judge didn't provide a motion, nor did she didn't do that. But also the judge verbally said that I didn't look at your stuff. So you're unprepared. You're so behind in cases and you're so behind in the workload that people fall through the cracks and they get the book thrown at them and then they're sitting in rearage and they're sitting and they're miserable, right? This process is designed to destroy. And I'm gonna stop there because I got some more stuff to say about it. And I'm gonna keep going, but I'm gonna jump into the next question. Are you working hard to come and see or get your kids? Holidays, summer break, arrangements that was set up. For me, as I said before, for my oldest, I've tried my best to make time for her. I came. She lives in a certain area. I'm not gonna say where she lives, but she lives in a certain area. I would literally, depending on where I was living or stationed, I would come and drive all the way down to go see her. I would make the attempt. I would get the rental car. I would drive my personal car. I would do all this stuff and set it up to go see her. Go spend a few days. Try to take on trips. One point I was driving tractor trailers. I would take on the road with me. You know, I would be stationed all the way in overseas, and I would fly all the way and drive and coordinate the setup to come see her. So for me, I have taken time to go see her, whether it was holidays, whether it was a graduation, whether it was Christmas, whether it was birthdays, whatever I could do, whether it was just hey, I'm coming. Made an attempt. Same thing for my other kids. Made an attempt. Watching them doing these things. And again, I'm not saying this for a pat on the back. I'm not saying this to get people on my side. I'm saying this because, again, these questions are made to expose certain things. Because a lot of times, women would say, he don't come see his kids, or he don't call and talk to his kids, or he don't do this and he don't do that. If the man is trying to see his kids, then he should get credit as such. He shouldn't be bashed or downgraded or disrespected because the mother doesn't, to her not liking, that the man doesn't come and see his kids. Okay? Me personally, I have made an attempt to see my kids, and I have people know that I do. Those who know me or are close to me, they know that I take time to try to spend time with my kids. I try to go see them. It didn't matter where I was in the world. It didn't matter if I was stationed overseas or wherever. I don't have an issue with coming to visit my children. But people will make it seem like that, hey, he ain't doing enough. And this is what I want to debunk. For me, and those who watch my videos, I might have said it. I lost my dad at an early age. I was 11 years old. I lost my dad to a drug deal gone bad. My mom remarried, stepdad, good guy, but he had his own stuff going on. So I didn't really have a father figure in my life. I had, he was there, people coming in and out, but not a solid father figure. So from my mindset, when I was coming up, I would say, if I ever had kids, I would try my best to be who I need to be to them. I try to show presence. I try to encourage. I try to talk. I try to teach. Because I like, if those who listen to the Young Jeezy and the Jeezy and Nia Long interview, I know people getting their feelings about certain things with it, but anyway, one of the things he said was that in honor integrity, having integrity. And for me not having a solid father figure at that, I wanted to be that to my children. I wanted to be that to the children and the men and women that was around me, the kids that are around me. I wanted to be that to them. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to try to be in their lives, and it was something that has integrity and honor in it. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is why we need to differentiate, make a difference between those men that don't do than those who do. Questions number 4. For court, did things go in favor for you? Did you get what you asked for? Did you get screwed? Judge was unfair. Prepare yourself, lawyer, etc. As I said before, for my situation, I did not get what I asked for. Not only did I not get what I asked for, I also got more than what I didn't ask for. And not to go back down the rabbit hole, but again, having things prepared, a lawyer, I spent a lot of work hours. I the job that I had, I took for a while, I took an hour and a half of my work day, sometimes more than that, sometimes throughout the day, to not only do my job, but to prepare for the court case, evidence, going to talk to attorneys, going to sit down, going to do this, going to do that. Nothing mattered. All the work, all the stuff, I talked to law clerks on the phone with them, trying to talk with them and make sure all my paperwork, mailing stuff off UPS, making sure everything was tagged and stamped and everything, all the stuff I did. And just to get to court, the judge says, I didn't look at your stuff. And the lawyer sitting there looking goofy, didn't even present that stuff to the judge for review. So my personal opinion, and I know that this may have happened to a lot. Some may won. Some may got in there and had a really good lawyer, and they won. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's different for everyone. But I'm just speaking for me, it didn't work out. And it was a frustrating time. Question number 5, it goes into the reaction. Didn't react very well. I was pissed. And it was another example, an article I read. This is about a month ago. And guy, and this is a different case. Guy went to court, restraining order, a lot of DV in his marriage, a lot of DV. He had custody, CPO, or civilian protective order. That's what they call them, whatever. Judge took him away from his kids. Man lost his mind. Found the judge, killed the judge. Manhunt, national and regional manhunt. Guy killed himself. People are fighting, other judges fighting to make sure there's better protection for the judges so they can make these decisions. Not saying that was right. That was right. It wasn't right. Okay? However, this is why, again, it shows more proof that we have to sit down. The judge, the federal court system in regards to child support needs to be reformed. People need to sit down and look through these laws and adjust them to fix these issues. Not saying that the man need to, in this case, if you have DV and is there abuse and violence towards children and women, and the man was doing that, then there's certain stipulations you got to take. Not disagreeing with that. But overall, to completely shut down, and sometimes people don't do DV. I'm sure there's cases where the man didn't do any type of domestic violence, and he still got shafted for his kids. So then we can make it seem like that, and this is one type case. But I'm sure there's men getting shafted for not seeing their children, or shafted for child support, or whatever the case may be, just because. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at these systems. So again, to the reaction. I was pissed. And caused a whole downhill from there. It went downhill for me. It went downhill not only in my mind, but it's just in the fact that I spent a lot of time to put this together. It's not like I walked in the courtroom and said, hey, yeah, judge, I paid, but I don't have proof. I actually took the time. I actually spent a lot of time. This whole process lasted, this is about to be a year. This thing started back in March of this year, and now it's going on December. And there's more to come, and I'm still going through a couple of other things. But regardless, it's still, you know what I'm saying, this stuff is just, it's all over the place. So again, my reaction, I was pissed. And what this does, and this is what I really want to get into, why a man says, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Why there's men that says, you know what, I don't want to care about no kids. Why a man's, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. Right? I was like that. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of trying to do the right thing. I did everything I was supposed to do. And here we are, the judge gonna rule in her favor. Judge says, you gonna do this, and this. Didn't consider anything I submitted. And then I can't appeal it because I'm in contempt because of it. So it messes with your mind. And I know, again, if the other dudes dealing with this, I know you can relate. It messes with your head. You say, what is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the juice worth the squeeze on me doing all of this just for the judge to say, you know what, forget that. You're going to pay. You're going to do this. You're going to owe this, or you're going to go to jail, or you're going to lose your license, or you're going to, whatever the case may be, whatever consequence you get. Question 5 says, do you believe and keep trying? Did you keep fighting? Do you believe as a man you should keep trying? Like I said before, I was at a point where I said, you know what, it's not worth it. But I had to, and I'm still working through this. I have to figure out a way to balance the two. Balance love of my children and my emotions versus just saying, you know what, it's a delicate balance. It's a delicate balance for me to keep trying to do what's right, even still that I'm dealing with all this. And one of the things I had to realize, and I just last week, it was just a rough week for that. I had a really bad week because of this situation. One of the things I had to realize, and this is for all men, I had to realize that it was my decision to pick this woman. It was my decision to deal with a woman that I should have never dealt with for both situations. I had to realize that as a man, and especially in this culture today, dealing with the modern day woman, when you deal, and not just any woman, but when you're dealing with these type of women, you have to really take your time to not think and look at the visual. A lot of men look at women for their bodies. A lot of men have this lustful mindset to go sleep with a woman, because that's exactly what I did. But today, you have to vet. You have to sit down and put your lust to the side. You cannot look at a woman with lust. You cannot do that, because if you do, you're going to get into these situations and you don't vet the woman. You don't see the woman for who she is, and things, you know how it is in relationships. You get into a relationship, something don't go right, you're ready to get up out of it. I made the choice to get caught up. I made the choice to deal with certain women, and I should have never dealt with them. So it's on me, and that's what I had to realize. I had to take accountability for the women that I chose. You hear stuff on social media. You hear red pill content. You hear all types of stuff about modern day women and what they really want. They're after your money. They're after this. They're after that. You as a man, if you're listening, have to make the best decisions in regard to women. You have to understand that who you have children with is going to cost you. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you on who you choose. And you cannot look at a woman with just your physical looks. We're visual. You like to see the physical features of a woman, or how she look, or what she can do. You have that in your mind. You can't think like that today. You see the stuff I talk about. We talked about Will Smith. You talk about Tyrese. You talk about Keke Palmer. You're talking about all these different people, celebrities. I know a lot of people don't like celebrities. They don't listen to celebrities and marriages because they break up every 5 minutes. However, there are people that idolize these type of relationships. People idolize these type of things. If you didn't, you wouldn't be singing J. Cole's song that Will and Jada and that Black love, that Will and Jada love. You wouldn't be singing that song. So when people say, oh, I don't care for celebrity relationships and all that, you do, because if you did, you wouldn't be singing that song by J. Cole. People idolize these things. People like this stuff. So when we in these type of relationships and you see them fail, you see a woman doing the man dirty. You see the woman going to court, taking the man for everything he got. When you have people trying to break prenuptial agreements, all these things, you have to be really conscious of who you have kids with. You have to be conscious on who you lay down with. It's just that simple. And that's one of the things that helps me understand that this is the consequence. And then I'm going to go biblical on you. I know people don't care for the Bible, but this is why I'm in this situation, because I didn't listen to the Bible. The Bible is full of wisdom, dealing with, when telling a man how to deal with a woman and what type of woman to avoid. When we step outside of God's will in regards to the type of woman we need to be dealing with, this is what we're going to be dealing with. This is what I'm dealing with because I chose wrong. So saying that, Understanding that, taking accountability, it helps me understand how to deal with it. It helps me learn how to divide the line and knowing the difference between dealing with the courts, dealing with the custodial parent of the woman, and dealing with my children. I had to learn how to divide those things up. And understanding that to forgive myself and to, because at the end of the day, you know how men do. We move forward. We find another woman. We get together. Like, I'm in a good marriage, good wife. She's a godly woman, and she's awesome. This thing's taking a toll on my marriage now because I'm focused and stressed out about this whole process. I had to forgive myself. And now forgive myself and understand these are the consequences. When you have broken homes, and when things are broken up and things didn't work out and you're split up, these are the consequences. And all I can do is just do what I can do. Do what I can do. And I give everything else to God, and I allow him to fix it if he chooses to fix it, if things are mended or not mended. If things are broken and they're broken, they just going until we do what we can, basically what I'm saying. We do what we can. So keep trying. There's 2 caveats to this. One point I was saying deadbeat, and I'm going to get into what that means. Deadbeat. You know what? Not doing nothing, not talking, not saying nothing. It is what it is. And some men do that. Some men say, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to start over. Because it's easy. Go find another woman, get her pregnant, move on, right? Understanding that there's consequences and nothing's going to be perfect. I do what I can. I try to stay on schedule. I try to reach out and talk and call. Try to talk, try to be there. Men can, and I know if I'm speaking for me, maybe other men are different, but I had to realize that I was starting to idolize my relationship with my kids. I was going to start to idolize my kids to the point where I'm upset, I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm mad, I can't sleep, I'm crying, I'm this, I'm that, because I'm trying to be the best version of a dad that I can be. And for me, I just had to learn, you know what? I only do what I can. If I don't talk to my kids for years, and I've made an attempt to try, and I try to do what I can, I got to keep it moving. This is the part of just giving it up to God and saying, you know what? Hey, they'll come around. You make it known. I'm here. If you want to talk, if you want advice, you want to come up and chop it up, I'm here. If you don't want to talk, I'm not going to fight with you to get you to talk. I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to stress. I got a life to live. I got a purpose here too. I can't sit here and keep losing my sleep and losing my energy and my time and fighting why the woman did me this way or why the court did this to me. It's part of the consequences when you step out of God's will, when you don't do things the way the Bible tells you to do it, and that's just what it is. You're going to have these issues. This is how it's going to be. The world is not designed to be in favor with the godly. The family court system is not designed, and I repeat, not designed to be there for the man. It isn't. People can say what they want to say. Oh, is your lawyer? Oh, is there some cases? If there are cases that men are winning, it's very rare. It's very rare that men win cases like this. It's always designed for the woman because that's the system that's set up. Especially in the black community. It's always set up against the man. I don't care what nobody say. When it's reformed and things have changed, and I'll say differently. I'll come back and retract and I'll say differently. But for today, the family law court system, the child support system is always designed against the man. Period. Very rare you hear a woman paying child support to a man. Very rare. Because them women are making a lot of money. 9 times out of 10, average man, they're paying child support to the woman. So that's just what it is. But if the relationship, and another thing, if the situation is so toxic, and you arguing, and you fighting, and you're going back and forth with the woman as a man, and you're trying to do what's right, it got to the point where it was so bad for me. Constantly arguing, constantly fighting, going back and forth. I had to stop. I said, you know what? I'm done. We ain't talking. And it's been 3 years since I talked to my first daughter. It's 3 years. I let it go. I couldn't do it. I had to go live my life. When the situation is too bad, and you can't be amicable for your kids, and you pay your child support, and you do what you're supposed to do, if it gets to that point, cut them off. I know people don't like to hear that. Oh my God, you a deadbeat dad. Cut them off. Because at the end of the day, you fighting with the female, fighting with the woman, it's not going to do nothing for your kids. It's not going to do nothing for you. Cut them off. And they don't have to be forever. It can be for a season. You got to learn to come together and be amicable for your kids. Now, if the situation is kind of amicable and you can get along, then set that thing up, set it up however you set it up, and go be with your kids. Learn how to differentiate between the relationship and the kids. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy, especially when the relationship's bad as it is. It ain't easy. It wasn't easy for me for both times. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. But I'm willing to try to do what's right for the kids as long as it's peace and there's amicability. But if it ain't amicability, I cut it off. Number 6, do I feel guilty not being in your children's lives? I'm sure. Some men don't care. Talk to my homeboy. He got to a place where it is what it is. Until the situation gets better, he just keeps living his life. I personally had some guilt. I had some guiltness there because I love my kids. I want to be in my kids' lives. I want to be the best dad as I can. I truly desire to be that. It's just unfortunately that the world ain't designed for you to be great. So, do I feel guilt? Yeah. But now, learning and moving forward, I have to learn to separate those emotions and learn to say, you know what? I did what I could. I do what I can and I can live my life. Your kids ain't going to ever experience everything. Especially, it's hard with the blended families, and I may do a separate video on this. But when blended families, the kids that you with the wife or the woman you with, they get to experience things that your other kids don't experience. And that's hard. For me it is. But I just have to know that they may not able to get the rewards of everything that I have what I'm currently having right now. They may not able to see everything that I see with my wife and kids now. And that's just part of if you can help it, yeah. But if you can't, it is what it is. So for me, that's the mindset I gotta have. It may not agree to everyone else. It may not sit well for everyone else, but that's how I got to live my life. Because I've been there where I was stressing. I've been there when I was crying. I've been there when I was angry. I've been there when I couldn't sleep. I've been there. But it does no good to my family. It does no good to my kids. It does no good to myself to be stressing about this situation with the kids. You do what you can, and you keep it moving. That's it. That's the only answer you got. Because when you do live wrong and when you step out and don't do things the right way, I got to expect that this is how it's going to be. And who to say that it will get better? It will. Who to say the kids will come around and say, you might live with dad. You might come. Things can turn around. Things can turn around. But until they do, I have to keep a mindset that I do what I can. If I can't do it, I can't do it. Especially now with child support being high, you paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, and you trying to barely get scraped by. You barely can have clothes and shoes, and you scrambling by because the system want to hit you across the head. You only can do what you can. You only can do what you can, and you know what? You did your part. Move on. What are your opinions and feelings due to the drama in relationships with children and value? I think that's the question I wrote. When it comes to the drama and all that stuff, when it comes to the parents, we got to learn how to separate the two. I had to get to a point where if one of the parents, the women act a certain way, I had to learn to try to figure out a way around it. I had to be creative, figure out how to talk to my kids. You had to, fine, you want to argue, you want to be dramified, I'm gonna shut you down. I'm gonna move on. You don't lose yourself in this process. That's one thing I learned. You cannot lose yourself in this process. You can't lose yourself when it comes to all this stuff, because it's easy to get caught up. It's either two extremes. Some men are really into it and they lose themselves and they get caught up in the guilt and the shame. They try to fight for their kids, and then it's the next extreme when the men say, you know what, I ain't dealing with it at all. There are men today that chooses not to deal with their kids. And we jump on those men and we say, you're deadbeat, you're trash, you're this, you're that. It's a whole vlog, thousands and thousands of comments of women just bashing men and saying they're nothing. But we don't really sit back and look at, is this man really have to struggle and is it worth the squeeze? Is you cussing the man out, disrespecting the man, talking trash to the man? He trying to do what's right. He trying to be there. You cussing him out, doing stupid stuff. That causes the man. That's probably why he's not involved. It's not always because the man don't want to be. In some cases it is, but I don't believe that every man that's not involved is because he wants to be. He doesn't want to. He's not involved because it's too much freaking drama. It's too much issues. It's too much. The women are always getting on the man, aggravating the man, pissing the man off when he comes to see his kids, doing stupid stuff, trying to get one video I saw on TikTok or social media that one woman wanted to, instead of taking care of his kid, she want him to take care of all the other kids that's not his. That's that drama that comes with this stuff. That's why some of these men don't want to be there. It ain't always because the man don't choose to. In some cases, they are. But we need to know how to differentiate between the two, because a lot of times people don't want to hear that. They don't care that the man's not there. He's just your deadbeat. You don't know why. He's just a deadbeat. And personally, I got to the point where I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what you think. If you think I'm a deadbeat because I don't call my kids every day, or you think I'm a deadbeat because I don't talk to them for 3 years or 2 years or 1 year, and you don't understand that the woman is a drama queen and causing my life hell, then I'll just be a deadbeat. We got to get to the point where we stop caring about what people think. Because a lot of this stuff is driven by society. It's driven by people that judge and say you don't care to know the story or don't want to hear the story. And then you got red pill content bashing women, self-love, gym, money, getting your chicken bag. And people hate that women don't want to deal with no man like that. But you wonder why? Because when men do what they're supposed to do, women treat them like crap. That's why red pill communities exist. That's why they are effective. I'm not 100% agreeing with it, but I believe that men that don't understand the women, especially today, modern day women, that don't respect the man, they're overly masculine. They need to hear some of this content just to get a understanding of what's going on in today's culture. And then when you learn and you get enough, you don't need to stay in it 100% because it starts to get a little extremist when you start jumping into the red pill. But you need to learn some basics. A woman's a drama. You need to go ahead and, you know what, if it's causing you to the point where you can't see your kids, you say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to talk until you get your act together, till we know how to have an amicable conversation. When we can sit down and discuss what we need to discuss, I'm done. I'm out. My child support is paid. You got your check. I'm moving on. And when that's done, then the woman gets some freaking sense. Then, okay, you know what? I'm done with the drama. Cool. Let's talk about the children. So that's my opinion on that. A deadbeat parent. Cultural views. Again, a deadbeat parent is a man. A lot of time it's personal. It's emotions involved. A man leaves his woman, whatever reason, he don't like her no more. It's drama, it's toxicity, whatever the case may be. Man leaves a woman, say, I'm done. Wash my hands. I got a couple of kids with you, but I'm gone. Man disappears. Don't want to talk. Got to fight with the man. You got to call this person. Got to drag him, to subpoena him, and summon him to court. Go through all this stuff to get him to do it right. In spite of that, the man pays child support, but he don't care to talk. He not emotionally invested. He not mentally invested in the kid, and he just keeps it moving. That's a deadbeat. The deadbeat definition is somebody who doesn't care or doesn't want to try. There are men, we just said it earlier. I'm sure there's men that don't even give a crap about their kids. They're not invested mentally, emotionally. They pay child support or don't pay child support, and they have no absolutely care to visit or try to call the kids or check up on the kids or nothing. But what a lot of the cultural view is, if you're a deadbeat because you don't do what I say do, or you don't move the way I want you to move, or if you don't call your kids every single day, or if you don't treat your kids like you want them to be treated. Sometimes women had this picture of want the dads to be something to the kid that they wish that they were experienced. Some of the moms don't have their dads in their life. So what they do is they paint this vicarious picture that the dads want to treat my kid the way that I wish I had it when I was a kid. Instead of just allowing the father to be in their child, as long as they ain't harming or treating or talking or teaching the child bad mannerisms or bad ways of living, you should just let that man be. But a lot of times you're a deadbeat because you don't do this, or you're a deadbeat if you don't do that. If you don't call them on this day, if you don't do it's always issues. That's not a deadbeat. There is a difference. A deadbeat is somebody who don't care at all. Somebody who you got to fight with. Somebody who don't even, if you got to tell the dad to call the child, then that's a deadbeat. But a deadbeat is not a person who tries, but just not doing the way you want him to do it. So that's a difference. And we got to get out the cultural views. social media, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever site, Facebook, whatever, reading our articles that tells that a woman complains and bashes the man online and talks about him and tells him he ain't nothing, and then when people say, oh yeah, he's a deadbeat. No, we need to define what a deadbeat is. Last thing I want to say. A lot of my videos on here talks about when a white man or a white cop, white man or white cop shoots a black child. Shoots a black man, shoots a black child. George Floyd came out, big thing. Trayvon Martin, big thing. Eric Garner, big thing. A lot of people talk about reparations. What the black community should get. We get all this millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. We need programs. The government owes us this, the government owes us that. And I was telling homeboy this a couple of days ago. The government designed this system to destroy the black man. And I don't want to make it all about black, because I know how people get in their feelings is racist or anti-Semitism or whatever. The point is, the government designed this to destroy the black man. It's designed to pit the woman against the man, kick the man out the home. You're getting child support, you're getting Medicaid, you're getting Section 8 or whatever, you're getting all these benefits. And those who need it. But the whole system is designed to use the man against them, and this destroy black communities. The issue partially is not when a white police officer shoots a black child and everybody want to stand on the corner and protest. Everybody want to stand on the corner and holler and scream, but he did this to my baby. But what about when the black man and the black woman had these issues and they go to court and they do all this crazy stuff? What about it when you want to protest about child support? Are you going to protest about changing some of these laws and systems? No, you're not. He deserved it because he wasn't there for his kids. He put him on child support, girl. Go on, take him to the cleaners. When the divorce happens, and it's not just black specific. This is all men, white men, Asian men, Hispanic men, whoever. The whole system is designed against that man. And what does this do? It causes men to not want to marry. Men are hesitant to marry. Men are hesitant to want to be in relationships. Men are hesitant to deal. They're very skeptical now. There's a lot of men now that are saying, you know what? I avoid marriage. I avoid relationships. And what the men start to think, they get back into this mode where women are used for sexual use only. And that's wrong. Because this is how a lot of issues start in the first place. It is wrong. But men are hesitant. I don't want to make a commitment because marriage is not something you have to do. Biblically, marriage is something you not have to do. As long as you're going to live a clean life. And what that means is, that doesn't mean that I'm single and I just have sex with women. What that means is that I choose to live a celibate lifestyle. But if I'm going to be married, then I need to be married to the one woman. I know everybody going to be mad about that because everybody talking about polygyny and multiple wives and David and this and that. It's a whole conversation for another day. But when you go to court and you marry under this system, this American system, and something happens where the marriage ends up being bad, the man's going to have to pay child support, alimony, spousal support, and everything else. Their assets are stripped from them. Retirement, assets, houses, cars, kids, the whole thing is stripped from the man. And that man is left to scramble. I believe that's why Will Smith is still dealing with Jada Pinkett Smith, because if they divorce, he gonna lose half or a majority of his assets. Jeezy and all these other couple of guys, they prenuptials, Tyrese, prenuptials are getting attacked because they want to take the assets. This American Western culture is designed to strip the man to nothing. And this is why the gender wars and the relationships are so hard. This is why so much contention between man and woman. There's so much contention between cultures and marriage and stuff like that, because no one wants to marry today because of what the Western society has made it to be. Hopefully it makes you vet women more as a man and say, you know what, I'm not going to look at you as your sexual market value. I'm not going to look at it as a sexual value. I'm going to look at you for other things. Are you a woman that can raise children good? Are you a woman that's respectful? Are you a woman that's feminine? Are you a woman that's are you going to follow the livings of the Bible? Are you a man that's respectable? Are you a man of integrity? Are you a man that wants one woman? Are you a man that's going to treat the woman right? It's both ways. This culture should make you want to vet women more. This culture should want you to look at marriage in a whole different way, or whether you choose to be married or not. But when you engage in sexual, whatever you want to call it, sexual, you just having sex with women and you're not thinking about these things and you worrying about the feelings of the pleasure, and then you have a kid, first thing you tell them to do, go get an abortion. If they keep the kid, then the relationship goes sour. You up and out. You up and out. You don't want to deal with it no more. And then you're in the system. Because at some point, you're going to be put on child support. You're going to run for so long, the woman's going to find you, the system's going to find you, you're going to be on child support. So it's good to start vetting. Just take your time and vet and say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with you like that. I don't care. And this whole conversation I'm not going to do on this video like that. But with this whole concept of modern day woman where a man can cater to a woman for financial reasons, a transactional relationship. A transactional where you pay me and I get this. You pay me and I get this. And the only thing a woman can give a man is sex. If sex is taken out of the equation, a lot of men won't be just giving their money away. A lot of women won't be walking around here thinking that I can get something from a man. I can give him whatever I want. That's what the women thinks today. They think that I can go here and get this man some sex and he give me 10 grand. This is how this woman thinks. And a lot of men, they got the money and they give it to the woman, and that's why they think like that. Imagine getting into these relationships. Imagine getting married. Imagine you have a kid with a woman like that. You don't want to deal with her no more. Guess what she's going to do? You're going to be paying. She know how much you're making. They're going to go to court and you're going to hit them with $60K a month for child support. Hit them with outrageous numbers. We gotta vet. And that's one of the things I've learned. Vet. Don't look at the woman for a sexual market value, because that's what a lot of men do. And women know that. So they do that. And they go in these relationships and have sex and have kids with them. They trapped. That's it. So what's damaging to the black community, it ain't when Officer Smuckatelli, white Smuckatelli, shoot a black kid. That's partially it. The issue is it's in the home. The issue is when there's not unity in the home. And there's not unity in the home, then it goes downhill from there. Broken homes, blended family, all the other issues. Dad's not available, mom hating the dad, hating him, telling the kids that they're men are nothing, or vice versa. That's where the issues start. Home affects the community affects an area affects a state, and the state affects a nation, a region, and a nation, and then the world. It's global when it starts from home. When the home is good, then the communities are good. Then the schools are good. Then it goes from there. But when the home isn't good, and you got all these issues out the home, guess what? It's going to affect the whole community. It's going to affect the schools. It's going to affect the nation. Start with the home. Before you start protesting Black Lives Matter or whatever it is that you say. When you start walking around here, African queen, black this, black that, start from the home. Get your home right. And I'm talking to myself too. And that's why I'm changing my thinking. I'm changing my thinking on that aspect and trying to fix my home. So that's all I got to talk about. I really hope this helps somebody. I hope I stand with you. There will be some more videos to come. I'm going to change the channel a little bit. I'm not going to talk so much about outside stuff unless it's actually critical, but I'm going to start talking about how to deal with certain things in the home, and dealing with men and dealing with our communities. Really tackling those root issues and not talk about, oh, this cop shot this person. I was done with it when the Memphis black cop shot and kicked that man to death and killed him. I was done with that. Because now it don't matter about the color at this point. It matters about the person. It matters about the integrity and the honor of that person. It don't matter about the color. We get into color too much. Not saying that we belittle it, not saying it doesn't matter, not saying it's not important, but I think it's time to evolve and start looking at the character, the integrity, and the heart of the man or the woman. Start understanding things from a different perspective. Those who are struggling, those who are in this situation, I feel for you. If you lose a court case and it don't go your way, it's going to take a while, however long it takes. Take time to realize the importance of your children. It's not going to be easy. You may say you're done with it. And honestly, if you get to that point, my prayer is that you don't stay that way. But if you do decide to walk away and never return, I hate to say this, but I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you because this is hard. This is hard. I'm not going to judge you if you say, you know what, I ain't dealing with this no more. Of course, it's part of the problem. It leads to the issues of the black community. If your man just walk away from his kids, I really hope that you don't do that. I hope that you can find it within yourself to try to at least be present. Try to at least engage with your children, but it is not easy, especially when you have so many odds against you. And that's just for any man. It ain't just black men. Any man is dealing with it. Because I know it's not just black men. I know some white men are dealing with this. I know some Hispanic men are dealing with this. I know there's some Asian men dealing with this. I know there's some other cultures are dealing with this. It ain't just black men, but I'm telling you as a man, and it is proof because there's the guy that killed that judge, he was Hispanic. It's the mental health, it's the emotional health that we got to understand in this situation. And if it costs you your mental health, it ain't worth it. If it costs you your heart, it costs you as a person, and you get engulfed in all this stuff, and you get engulfed in the courts and dealing with the women and dealing with the kids, and you lose yourself. If you lose yourself in this, you're no good. So if you have to walk away, whether it's temporary or permanent, just to get your head together and keep yourself going, then you need to make a decision to do that. But my prayer is that when you make that decision, that the healing comes with that you say, you know what, I'm going to at least try to be there. You don't have to fight with the woman. If you fighting with the woman and she don't get it, then stay gone. I did it. I'm a living testament. I stayed gone for 3 years, and I said I ain't dealing with her or the child. And she picked when I came back stateside. She said, "Hey, we need to. Something happened. We need to squash this beef and get focused on the child." Don't lose yourself in this. And this is don't. And sometimes you walking away for good and saying, "Forget this junk." It'll be 30, 40 years and you talk to a kid. It may be you may just have to do that. Oh man, that's wrong. You don't do that. You fight to the death. You fight to the teeth of your kids. Oh man, you don't do that. You don't walk away from your kids. What kind of man are you? What kind of father are you? That's judgment from society. But while you listen to society, you're depressed, you're stressed, you're angry. No one's going to help you. Court system ain't going to help you. No one got no answers. So you gotta sit back and you gotta do the soul searching. You gotta allow the Lord to come into your life. You have to have support through this. You have to have someone that's probably been. You have to have. Now I'm not talking about just homeboys that are just here. F that kid. F this. F that. Forget that. HO. That's not the support I'm talking about. I'm talking about really counsel, godly counsel. People that's going to say it's going to help you through the emotions. It's going to help you through the toughness. It's going to help you through the heartaches and the struggles and the guilt and the condemnation and all this stuff that comes with this. But he's going to help you to heal so you can get back in the fight. It's going to help you support and say, you know what? I got kids. I got responsibilities. And it matters to me. And you got to think about your lineage too. It matters to you to try. You only can do so much though. You only can do so much though. And then if you did all you could, and somehow it's still bad. You know what I'm saying? Don't care to get with you. You there, you make it clear. Because once the kids get grown and they get older and they see the truth, or if they get up and they see, and you've made an attempt, it's like my oldest child, I made an attempt. And I always say, you're there. You know what number, you know my number. And you choose to still, at that point, you got to say, you know what? I did all I could. I did all I could. And I'm not going to live in guilt and shame. I'm not going to walk around depressed. I'm not going to feel less of a man. Forget what society, forget what culture say. I'm going to continue to live my life. I'm going to continue to have a wholesome approach to life. Judgment, the court system is still trash, yeah. Yeah, it's still trash. Is it unfair? Yep. But what I will say is that one, God is greater. And two, I'm not going to allow the obstacles and the challenges of this life to deter me and keep being me from being who I need to be. Whether it's to myself, whether it's to the people around me, or whether it's to my children. I got to learn to rise above. I got to learn to say, I'm going to continue to live and be the best version of my life as I can be. And it will pay off. I believe it will pay off. I still have hope that it will. It don't matter which way it does, but it will pay off at some point. So hopefully they'll see that you tried. Hopefully they'll see that you made an attempt. But hopefully it'll pay off, and that's my belief, and I hold on to that. But from who I have in my house and who I have in my life now, and they've been good to me, and they've been enduring this process with me, I'm going to switch gears and focus on the ones that are here, while I take my time to focus on the others. And that's the best way that I know how to tell you how to get through it. You know, and hopefully that somebody will stand up together. Hopefully there's petitions going out. Hopefully there's advocacy groups. Hopefully there's people that saying, you know what, I'm sick of this court system. Sick of these people just making these crazy decisions. And hopefully there will be reform. Hopefully Supreme Court of Justice, somebody will sit down and look at this stuff over and make the changes necessary. So everybody can have a fair and impartial way of dealing with this. Making sound judgment decisions, not just saying, you didn't pay this, hit you with the gavel, paid 90, 100K. Shut up, you go to jail if you don't pay it. That's not it. Trash lawyers don't know, they burnt out, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to fix nothing. You asking them, pleading with them, I can't help you, it's the law, that's what it is, it's the law. It all needs to change. And I don't care who get mad, I don't care, you can file a report, I don't care, I'm telling you, it needs to change. Period. It needs to change. Because there's too many men getting railroaded because a woman can go in there and lie and say, yeah, he ain't paid nothing. Here's the proof. I don't care about the proof. Pay it, shut up, or go to jail. It needs to change. And most importantly, as a man, learn to just make better decisions. And that's what I had to learn. Make better decisions with the women you deal with. Don't give this woman this much power. Don't sit up there and keep putting yourself in positions where it can be this way. Makes better decisions. Cut the alcohol out, cut the weed out, cut the lust out, and look for and get to know a woman and look at her for who she really is. And just because you got the money, don't mean it's worth you should give it away to a woman like that. A woman has to be valued, and she has to be valuable. Bible says that a woman is a suitable helper. How is she helping you? Having sex with you is not, that's basic. Because any woman can do that. Cooking and cleaning is basic. Because any woman can do that. For the most part anyway. How can a woman outside those things help you and help you be better? And these are the things you need to ask yourself when you're dealing with a woman. Not just, oh, she look good, got a nice face and a nice body. Oh, that'll work. No. Take time to vet and say, what else do you got? Oh, you ain't got nothing but that? Okay, well, it's nice. We can be friends, be nice knowing you, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Because once you engage and entangle with that woman, because you worry about, the only thing that works is her face and her body, and you entangle with that woman, you get her to have kids with her, and then she turn into a monster, and she cussing you out and disrespecting you, what you gonna do? You gonna stay? You gonna stay? If a man stays with a woman like that, 80% of the time you cheating on her. Or you hitting her. Or you doing some type of substance abuse. You're cheating with another woman that ain't like that. You're fighting and going to jail, or you want some substance abuse, or you just not there. It's bad either way, whether you try to stay with her or not. Then you leave, go to child support court. Oh, he ain't paying me no child support. He ain't giving my baby some diapers. Judge hits you with the gavel. Boom. You owe 90, 100K. Bye. Pay it to go to jail. Go to get a lawyer shrugging his shoulders like, it's the law, I can't help you. Garnish your check, take your retirement, garnish your taxes, make you have all this back. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to vet and say, you look good, you got a nice body and all, but I'm going to keep it moving. So, hope this helped you guys. That's my video. That's my topic. I'm at peace with it. Of course, there's more work to be done for me in my personal situation, but I'm not being bound by it no more. And my only contribution that I hope that somebody hears this is to be able to take this to vet, especially you guys who are young and you at that stage where you want to start getting with women in that sexual way, and you got a career or you want to track, you ain't got no kids or nothing. Take the time to hopefully hear this video and make good decisions. Don't be like me when I was 17. Oh, I'm going to get with this one, get with this one. It's all on me. It's my issue because I made the choice. let's vet, let's think. Let's not think with our little heads. Let's think with the brain. And more importantly, if you get with Christ and he will tell you. Get with God and he will tell you. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's honestly, ain't no way it's going to work. This marriage I'm in is not going to work if God didn't put it together. Ask the Lord Jesus Christ, get with him and help you to think and help you give you eyes to see the right way. Because I guarantee you, you get with these nice looking women, Instagram models or whatever, they're going to be and not all of them now, I'm not saying, but 9 times out of 10, especially what I see so far, them the women they're going to cause your life hell. And you're going to be sitting there wishing, man, I wish someone would have told me. I wish someone would have told me that this ain't the right way to go. I wish that someone would have sat me down and said, man, I said that. I wish someone would have sat me down and told me what was right and told me how to move and how to keep it moving. But no one told me. I had to learn the hard way. So if you're listening to this, hey, listen. Slow down. Get to know her. If you're going to get with her that way, make sure she's marriage material. If you choose to marry, and that's the thing. If you're sexually active and you want to sleep with her and you're not willing to marry her, if she's not marriage material, then she shouldn't be sexual material either. Because what's going to happen is you're going to throw the marriage part out the window. You're going to get engaged and have sex with her, and she's going to get pregnant. Plan B, you ain't plan B all the time. You ain't popping that pill right away, or you ain't plan B and spending plan B $50. You ain't putting plan B. I didn't try it. I didn't try those games. Think ahead and say, if she not marriage material, then she not sexual material either. Even if she look good, that's the challenge. That she look good, but she marriage material. That make that your standard. Even if you don't want to get married, think about it like that. If she marriage material, that's the highest standard. That's the one that I'm going to give my life to. That's the one I'm going to take care of. That's the one I'm going to have my kids with. If she's not marriage material, then she's not sexual material either. Because at the end of the day, in order to be married, you're going to have sex with her. Don't put sex up to the top as your standard. Don't put sexual activity material as your standard, because every woman will meet that standard. Especially if she Instagram model type, she gonna meet that standard. People put sexual material as the highest level instead of saying, okay, yeah, I can have sex with her. If I have enough game, I can go have sex with her. But what I'm gonna do when I have a chick? What if she gets pregnant and she don't want to do the abortion? You stuck. And some women know that. They know that, hey, shoot, I ain't gonna get rid of it. And then she know you at her mercy, because then, in a sense, you're not really, but if you at her mercy in the sense of, yeah, she don't do what's right, she gonna go down to people. And she gonna go down there and say, yeah, he ain't paying me, and they gonna hunt you down, get you child support, and you'll be mad. Make sure she's marriage material before sexual material. And then and again, marriage is the absolute. I know a lot of men don't want to do it, and I don't blame you. I have to say, I don't blame you if you don't get married. But a lot of men do. They don't get married, but they still have sex. Unprotected sex is that. And they think plan B gonna save you. It don't always work. It work sometimes, but it don't always work. Trust me, I know. I know about it. So, like I said, that's all I got. Hope this video helps you. If you got feedback, comments, please leave it. Again, I say this every time. If you do, please leave it. And then hopefully that something I said has helped you. Helps you think, helps you stimulate thought. Help you maybe make better decisions, or maybe just fit, we can talk about it. Hey man, I've been through it. I didn't understand what you've been through, but this is how I deal with it. I'm open to it, Just hope that y'all doing well, and I hope that y'all making smart decisions. Please do, because this world ain't designed for the foolishness. You can't afford as a man, black man or otherwise, to make dumb decisions like this. Because one thing is true, you giving away, they said $1 million a child, might be $5 million in the hole. Might be $5 million in the hole. So, and in some cases, to see your kids grow up and see them do well and see that's good. But if you do it right, you can see it from the house. It ain't gonna be heartache, and ain't gonna be sorrow, and ain't gonna be grief, and ain't gonna be wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I wish I'd have done this better. Do it right so you don't have to experience that. So that's all I got. Y'all guys be blessed. Y'all guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.